Hey guys, welcome to my third video on slopes of parallel and perpendicular lines. So in this video, I'm going to show you the slopes of perpendicular lines. Okay, so let's begin. It says in the plane, two lines are perpendicular if and only if their product of their slopes is -1. This means that line 1 and line 2 are only perpendicular if you multiply the two slopes together and they equal -1. Now, the only way we can achieve that is if one slope is its opposite and reciprocal. Opposite reciprocals are its opposite sign. So if one is positive, the other one's negative, which, sorry, it's supposed to be negative. And reciprocal means to flip the fraction. So if the fraction is 2/5, then its reciprocal is 5/2. So therefore, the opposite reciprocal of 2/5 is -5/2. So let's say, for example, you had two lines that are perpendicular. Using this example, if the slope of the first line is 2/5, then in order for the first line to be perpendicular to the second line, then the slope of the second line has to be -5/2. Opposite and reciprocal. By the time you multiply these two together, you will get -1. Okay? So remember, opposite and reciprocal. All right, so let's begin. Let's take a look at graph A and graph B. Let's prove that these two lines are perpendicular. And let's also prove that these two lines are not perpendicular by calculating its slope. Okay, so let's begin. Let's take a look at line K. So line K, I'm going to choose this point right here and then this point right here, which is easy to see. The slope of line K goes up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 boxes. So that's a total of 12 units. Okay. And then it's going over only one box, so that's a total of 2 units. So the slope of line K is equivalent to 12 divided by 2, which is equivalent to 6. Okay. I'm going to erase that so that I can focus on line J. Okay, so line J, I'm going to choose this point right here and then this point right here. Okay, so line J is going down one box, which is now -2 units. Then it's going across 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 boxes, which is equivalent to +12 units. So the slope of line J is equivalent to negative going down 2 units over across 12 units. So that's equivalent to -1/6. And we say that these two, when you multiply m, the slope of m, times the slope of j, that's going to be 6 times -1/6. These are opposite reciprocals, which is going to equal -1. And that's how we can prove that line K, so line K is perpendicular to line J. Okay? Opposite and reciprocal. Okay, let's take a look at graph B. So I'm going to do the same thing. So I'm going to start with either line, it doesn't matter. So let me start with line K. So I'm going to choose this point right here and then this point right here. So this line is going up one box, so that's equivalent to 2 units, and then going across 1, 2, 3 boxes, so that's equivalent to 6 units. So the slope of line K is equivalent to its rise, which is 2, over run, which is 6, so that's 1/3 when you reduce. And please always reduce. Okay, so now let's calculate the slope of line J. So I'm going to pick this point right here, and let's say this point right here. Okay, so now line J is going down 1, 2 boxes, so that's 4 units, and -4 because it's going down, and then another 2 boxes, so that's +4. So that's -4 over +4, so that's equivalent to -1. And as you can see, these two are not opposite and reciprocal, so therefore the slope of line K is not perpendicular to the slope of line J, because when you multiply them together, they do not equal -1. They equal -1/3 when you multiply them. So therefore, these two lines, line K, is not perpendicular to line j. Okay? Opposite and reciprocal. All right, let's move on to more questions like this. So it says if L line 1 has a slope of 4, then what must be the slope of any line that's perpendicular to line 1? So if line 1 has a slope of 4, its opposite and reciprocal is letter A, -1/4. Okay? Let's take a look at the second question. It says, given line L is perpendicular to line 2, and line 1 is perpendicular to line 2, and line 1 and line 2 intersect at the origin, then what is the slope of line 2? Okay, so remember, we have to calculate the slope first of line 1, so let's do that. Let's pick 2 points that are easy to see. So they pick this point already, and it looks like this point right here, okay? So I'm going to count rise. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's 8 units up, and then 1, 2, 3 units across. So the slope of line 1 is equivalent to 8 rise over 3. So that means the slope of line 2 has to equal its opposite reciprocal, which is -3 over 8. Okay, so that means -3 over 8 is the answer to this question. Okay, let's take a look at another example. Okay, and this time I want you to pause the video and I want you to try and get the correct answer. Okay, let's see the correct answer. It is letter C. The reason why is because the first thing you have to do is calculate the slope. So the slope is given to us as y sub 2 minus y sub 1, and I suggest writing this over and over again until it becomes supernatural to you. Okay, so y sub 2 is 2, and then minus 0, which is y sub 1, and then x sub 2 is 4 minus 0. Okay, so now let's calculate. 2 minus 0 is 2, and then 4 minus 0 is 4, and that reduces to 1/2. So the slope of line 1 is 1/2. Okay, so that means that the slope that's perpendicular to 1/2 is -2, because -2 is its opposite and reciprocal. Okay, let's take a look at this example. And again, I want you to pause the video to see if you can get the right answer. Okay, let's take a look at the correct answer. It is letter D. Okay, let's figure out why. The slope is calculated as y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. Y sub 2 is equal to 8 minus y sub 1, which is equal to 9. X sub 2 is equal to 5 minus x sub 1, which is equal to -5. 8 minus 9 is -1. Okay, 5 minus -5 is +10. So the slope of this line is -1 over 10. The opposite reciprocal of -1 over 10 is +10. All right, and that is it. Thank you for watching.